Well, for more insight here on how investors are going to be affected by the new financial legislation, Steve Myrow, COO of ACG Analytics, joins us now from Washington. He's a former Treasury official. He now advises institutional investors and hedge funds on how government actions can affect their portfolios. So, Stephen, Goldman Sachs says what profits at banks are going to be hit by 13% as a result of the Senate bill provisions. The stocks are up today, but should they be?
Well, Margaret, as John said, that the market likes it when uncertainty gets removed. And the further we move towards conclusion of this legislative process, I think the markets are going to appreciate that. However, they still remain concerned, particularly about some provisions, particularly the what's known as the Lincoln provision that would require spinoff of swaps trading desk at these large banks. So that's one that I think the market wants to see how that plays out in the conference process.
So can you give me a sense of what derivatives regulation is likely to look like, given that we still have to see the House and the Senate come to resolution about just what they're both looking for here?
Sure. I think generally it's going to look more like the Senate. Barney Frank has said that he likes most of the derivatives provisions in the Senate bill and that they're stronger than the House. However, the area, which means, by the way, that we're going to have significant movement of OTC derivatives to requirement to be put through clearinghouses and exchanges, a limited end user exemption, although the fine-tuning on that will probably come up during conference. But the two big issues they're going to pay attention to on the derivatives side and the markets are going to pay attention to during the conference process are the either altering or removing the Lincoln provision, which I'm highly confident will occur, and then secondly is the Volcker rule, because even though it's not in the House side, I expect it to pretty much what's in the Senate side to survive.
And that Senate version, I'm looking here, that Senate version is estimated to reduce the 2011 profits of the 8 biggest banks by $11 billion, according to J.P. Morgan. So clearly a reason for that focus. Barney Frank says these conversations are going to now happen behind closed doors. How does that lack of visibility into the sausage-making process change things?
Well, it provides the opportunity for a little more political maneuverability here, which is it's good for the markets in that sense that because in Washington you've had this sustained and even rising recently populist anti-Wall Street trend where it may not be dealing with issues that came out of the crisis, but just political moves to demonstrate punitive action against Wall Street to try to score political points. One of the most telling statistics I've seen in the last week was a public opinion poll where BP had an approval rating of 11% after the accident in the Gulf, but the Goldman Sachs approval rating was only 4%.
Yeah, tells you a lot. All right. Well, we're going to continue tracking this, as I know you will as well, Stephen. Thanks for joining us.